Hello there, Tumblr and or YouTube. Welcome to Daytime with Dan. Yeah, yeah. Hello, you beautiful people. How are you doing? No, wait, don't answer that because you can't. Well, I decided to make another video. Also, yeah, the same kind of format as the last ones. Because I have no original thinking, just basically things talking about as dictated by the people. That'd be you. Yeah, I got some stuff sent into my Tumblr Ask box, and I'm gonna rant about that. Also, in advance, as I'm filming this, I would like to apologise for the poor editing that is going to be done in this video, because my iMovie doesn't work, and I can only do this in sections because, well, weird video limits on Photo Booth, which don't really say, but sometimes it might not film, so I have to delete them as I go along and just like upload them before I do that. Before I delete them, obviously, that would be a waste of time. But yeah, and I have pieced them together with YouTube video, so yeah, it's going to be jumpy and shit, but you know, I'm kind of used to just throwing shit together. I'm an art student, so go with it. But, yeah, I hope you like it anyway, regardless of shitty quality and having to listen to me. Right, without further ado, let's answer some questions, or more aptly, let me answer some questions, which you have written. Right, first of all, we have Lolliman Slundy, otherwise known as Sarah, my lube. That's an in-joke, that'll probably just sound inappropriate to anyone else. Okay, right. Questions for you. That's 3 U's there. Okay, things to address in your video. 3 H's. See a pattern emerging. I want to know what makes you tick, pisses you off, makes you mad. Rant, please. Winky, smiley face. I can't really do it very well. You can't really emulate those. Yeah. Okay, so what makes me tick? What annoys me? What are my pet peeves? Well, I've got a few. I mean, most things piss me off. It's more a case of honing it down to the things which most annoy me. I think the most immediate one, and this is the one that I always put in like quizzes and stuff because it's quite important in my life, I found. Prejudice and mostly homophobia. Yeah, that kind of ranks quite high. Never cared for the sort of segregation of humanity, so to speak. Quite like a bit of diversity in my life. Life would be very boring if English was just made of England stuff, and maybe it was acquired a little bit naughtily, what with sort of like colonisation and, you know, being an empire and that. But, you know, overall in the world it's best that we have a mix of cultures, and also in the sense of sort of sexuality and stuff, like homophobia in this day and age, it's just kind of amazingly obsolete, like considering how long it's gone for, and it goes on in the animal kingdom and everything. You know, it's a perfectly natural thing, and I heard of a person on here's theory that we were all born bisexual, and I think to some degree that's quite true. And yeah, but we are told by society that, you know, immediately before we start making our decisions, that we are straight. But I think we can just like whoever we want to like, and we should not put labels on our sexuality in the first place. And that is kind of ironic coming from a person who says they're straight, but immediately right now I like girls. If something changed my mind about that, then fine. You know, my point of view changes based on the facts. And if I went, right, suddenly I need some cock in my life, it would probably happen. Don't even really care. I just like who I want to like. And yeah, you should never be ashamed of that. It's totally cool. And, you know, I grew up with a lesbian mother and everything, and she always told me that it's quite important just to not care, not treat it like a thing, because it's no big deal. It's the 21st century. We should not really be, you know, pandering to the idea that that is a standing out thing. You know, especially when you live in somewhere like Brighton, the gay capital of Europe. Yeah. And there's also that kind of weird indirect homophobia as well. Like when like a bunch of really like typically laddish straight people walk into a gay bar or something and they're immediately thinking everyone wants to have sex with you. No. You're not irresistible to everyone. You're not irresistible to every man just because they happen to like other men. That's not how the world works. And then there's of course stuff like racism, which is also a completely fucking, well, it shouldn't have existed in the first place really, but inevitably when something's new to like a civilization, it obviously causes some kind of upheaval. People can't deal, especially back, you know, way like hundreds of years ago, people were fucking crazy or something. Yeah, kind of dark days for humanity and not being very civilized. Yeah, but I never really understood racism or anything. So anything just based on segregating human culture just kind of sickens me because it kind of holds the rest of us back. You know, I kind of had these visions of this world where, you know, kind of like in sort of something really nerdy like Star Trek or something, where like all the aliens and the humans have spaceships and, you know, they don't have money or anything and they're all quite lovely and they get along and they explore space together. Well, they don't all get along, but, you know, that would be a very boring sci-fi series. But, you know, the idea that humanity can progress because it got over its earthly stupid values and prejudices and stuff, and obviously humanity got brought together to do such a thing. That'll never happen as long as we have our petty quibbles about having, you know, strict definitions of country and like politics and I don't know, just anything stupid or, you know, religion. Not to knock religion or anything, you know, I live and let live. It's nice that everyone has a different point of view, and it also ties into one of my other things which is fundamentalism in the sense of religion and atheism and anything else saying that anything is strictly this, because we don't know. We don't have all the answers yet. I doubt we ever really will have all the answers, but, you know. To kind of continue on that tangent into point 2, fundamentalism kind of pisses me off a little bit. I know people from each end of the spectrum or put people in grey areas, and I will proudly say I'm an atheist and everything, and my faith is in science and people, and it worries me because part of my faith is in people, and may God help me. But yeah, you know, despite my view and obviously being on one side of the thing, I still like to sit on the fence and sort of, you know, promote everyone's way of thinking, because the world would be a horrible and boring place and there'd be no sort of like fun little debates between friends and banter and that, being like, if everyone was the same, how shit would the world be? You know, that ties into my feelings about multicultural societies and everything. You know, it's way better when everyone mixes together and pitches in, you know. And, you know, we just need to find a way of living that sort of promotes being different, but we can all live together. You know, we don't prosecute one another for being this and that and so on and so forth. And I know it sounds really basic and inarticulate, but, you know, I'm just trying to boil it down simply. That's how kind of easy it is. So yeah, you know, everyone, start getting along, please. That would be delightful. Excuse me. I think I've got quite a dry palate today. Okay, next. A weird little pet peeve of mine is when people walk slowly in town. I'm kind of quite an A to B person when I'm walking somewhere, and it's always old people or someone with a pram with babies in it. God, that's kind of frustrating to me. It's not like a huge problem, but it kind of, yeah. I just don't do well with people. I think I'm just a bit of a rubbish, reclusive introvert, and as soon as I walk outside, my world either melts or becomes extremely aggravated. But hey, you know, such is life, such is me. Uh, what else? I a stupid thing is money. Mainly because I really want to travel to so many places, and I think that's one of the most important things in my life. And the only people that get to like casually travel all the time are pretty rich. I'm only a student, and yeah, I suppose I have dedications over here, but I've not exactly been following them very well. So I'd quite like to just like piss off to America for a bit. Although I am going to New York for my 21st birthday. Yay! um, yeah, so that's pretty cool. My mum and Sandra are paying for that, though. No way in hell I can afford something like that. I mean, that's all I get left from my student loan is enough to go over there. So if I paid for it, I wouldn't have any money, and I'd essentially just be a hobo in another country. So yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of people I want to visit in the world. You guys on Tumblr, hey. Um, and yeah, it kind of sucks because I know like loads of people who would like to just casually travel. I think we should get sort of like grants to travel if you're like really passionate about it, and you know, you get like, you know, you get to choose two locations and then you can like go to them and you can travel there for a while for a certain period of time, and that would all be very nice if you take your own money. You know, might be a way to promote tourism, even but it would never happen, and it's a totally stupid plan, but it would be awesome all the same. So get on it, yeah, cool. So that's question uno done, and that's probably like an immense amount of time just for like one point on the list of questions that Sarah has given me. But yeah, I'm gonna do this in little sections because I have to upload them and stuff, and it'll take forever. We've got stuff to do later, so I might not get all of them done. But yeah, segments, like oranges or satsumas or pizza or enough food-based metaphors because I'm getting hungry. So yes, I shall continue this in part 2. So see you there on that other page. Bye for now.